right, well, good afternoon, everybody, on what is going to be a groundbreaking and historic development, announcement, milestone here for our community. I am thrilled to be here with so many amazing community leaders. I'm talking about these youngsters to my right and left, of course, our future Olympians. And of course, our business leaders, our faith leaders, just incredible partners for the city. I'd also like to recognize our Metro Council members in attendance today. Jessica Green is here, Barbara Sexton Smith is here, Council President David James is here. Thank you guys for your service. Sherry Bryan Hamilton asked me to send her regrets. She's out of town right now on a community project, so it started today. But believe me, as everybody knows, she is a staunch advocate for this project and has been very involved from the beginning. So let's give Sherry Bryan Hamilton a round of applause in absentia. So we're going to hear from quite a few people today. There's been a lot of great partners that have come together to make this milestone happen today, and you'll be hearing from those. But in addition to those speaking, I'd also like to recognize representatives from the Convention and Visitors Bureau who are with us today. Scott Stuckey with the Omni Hotel, Val Jones, Jim Host, Alice Houston, Junior Bridgman, and members of LMPD. These folks are one of many that have been part of this team, but they have been VIPs on the team to help us get to this point today. So let's give them a round of applause as well. Thank you, guys. This is really an exciting time for our city, all over our city. It's an exciting time for West Louisville as well. We're experiencing unprecedented levels of investment in our city, about $13 billion. About $1 billion of that is happening in West Louisville. Just last weekend, we celebrated the grand reopening of French Plaza at Amy and Market, which is several blocks from here. When you take a look at 18th and Broadway and you see the Renaissance taking place there, the Passport headquarters on the west side and the YMCA complex on the east side, about $200 million in total there. And that's also going to be the first stop on our bus rapid transit. We've never had bus rapid transit in our city, so it's going to be going up 18th and Dixie Highway. All kinds of companies growing in the area as well. Companies like Reynolds Manufacturing, Clarion Corporation, Heine Brothers moved their headquarters to West Louisville. Facilities Management Services did the same thing. They're all expanding and locating in the West, so it's really a fun thing to see. We're seeing a lot of entrepreneurship right now. If you haven't been to Chef Space, and if you haven't enjoyed the food coming out of Chef Space and all those entrepreneurs, please be sure to check that out, as many of the graduates are now opening their own brick and mortar locations as well. You got a big international company like Google. When we were able to get Google Fiber in our city, one of 12 in the country, we asked them to help us with our digital inclusion strategy. They said, well, then we'll open in Portland. We'll do our first rollout in Portland. So another great win for the city. When you think down the road, just a couple years, close your eyes a little bit. Be standing in front of the water. The Ohio River between 9th and 15th Street will be new waterfront park, Phase 4, a tremendous new amenity for our community. And then, of course, the really big project, the Choice Neighborhood Project, will be $250, $300 million project at Beecher Terrace, becoming a mixed-use, mixed-income community as well. So lots of that work going on. So much of this, we want prosperity, we want inclusiveness, we want compassion, we want innovation, we want entrepreneurship all over our city. Much of that with people is getting over this, I hate to even reference it, but it's the psychic 9th Street divide. Investing everywhere, employment everywhere gets people to believe we are all in this together. I want people to see what they see, a divide, if they're called it today, they need to see that as a bridge. And we're actually reimagining what 9th Street will look like from that rapidly moving 4-lane kind of in-city highway into a bridge that brings the city together that's easy to traverse. So you'll be learning more about that as well. So physical locations like that are not barriers, they're unifiers. So it's great to be here today and announce another big step, and I want to emphasize this is a step. I am pleased to announce that Louisville Metro Government has entered into a development agreement with the Louisville Urban League to develop a $30 million state-of-the-art track and field facility right here in West Louisville on the West Heritage side, Heritage West. Come on. Oh, boy. Well, it took a lot of work from a lot of people to get to this stage. We announced that the Urban League was going to be the chosen developer back in September. Then the real work started about how do we make this to be a sustainable, world-class project where people would come from, I think, all over the world to enjoy it. But today is important because the agreement documents on how the project proceeds, that's what we're celebrating today. So how this is going to come together, how this will be a sustainable project. Think about the development agreement as a roadmap with performance benchmarks for all involved so we make sure this project becomes a reality and successful for decades. The agreement also documents Louisville Metro's financial commitment, and I want to emphasize that that is subject to Metro Council approval and our city's commitment to help along the way with things like design, permitting, and construction. The next big milestone is Tuesday, 4 days from now, when the Metro Council takes action on the budget, which includes this exciting project. So here we're going to have, hopefully, 2 really exciting announcements within 4 days of each other. So if you see a Metro Council member, encourage them.
Yes. Yes.
The support from the council on this project has been tremendous. They see the breakthrough potential of this. Many of them have been working on a milestone signature project like this for a long period of time. It just took the right concept at the right time with the right people involved. So let's say our prayers and keep our fingers crossed for Tuesday. We've also updated the Heritage West page on louisvilleky.gov to include the development agreement, so you can see all the details there. I encourage you to check it out. It's important that one critical piece of this project, super critical piece of this project, has been the engagement of residents. I think we all know how imperative community engagement is on any project we do. Those that don't do it well face troubled waters. Those that do it well face happy conclusions. So this project is happening because neighbors wanted it to happen, and the right people listened and are making it happen. So to tell us a little bit more about the neighborhood perspective, I'd like to introduce Natasha Cummings with the West Louisville Community Council. Please welcome Natasha.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, I'm Natasha Cummings, a Shawnee Chickasaw resident and a member of West Louisville Community Council Executive Committee. West Louisville Community Council is a grassroots organization of residents, neighborhood associations, places of worship, educational and cultural institutions focused on responsible citizen-engaged redevelopment of vacant and abandoned properties in West Louisville. We have been a key partner through the review and engagement process. Thank you, Sadiqa, for inviting West Louisville Community Council to the signing of this monumental development in the west end of Louisville, Heritage West. Heritage West Track-on Alley will be an anchor that will facilitate other businesses to locate in the west end of Louisville. We already have 2 strong entities, that is the YMCA and Passport, which are building in West Louisville. In September 2017, we stood in support Louisville Urban League project, and today we are still supporting this initiative. The benefits of this project will influence many areas, but most importantly, it will impact our children and our community. Being a former college athlete, I know firsthand the benefits of participating in sports. Being part of a team helps develop you as an individual while making you accountable to others. It provides you the opportunity to build your network and positive peers who have like-minded goals, and interact with coaches and other role models who want you to succeed in sports, but more importantly, succeed in life. Our children can be the best athletes, can earn college scholarships, get a degree, and even if they do not play professionally, they can become a productive citizen with a successful career. This project can help stimulate the community financially as well. My son Isaiah, a former West End Yellow Jacket player, now Mel Bulldogs football and track athlete, and who currently plays football for P2P 7-on-7 football, We have traveled to numerous cities such as Atlanta, Charlotte, Nashville, Ann Arbor, and others for tournaments. At each location, there was significant revenue generated within communities surrounding the event, with hotels, restaurants, and gas stations among those that benefit the most. Currently, we lack all of these in the West End. But if we create the market, if we create the need, they will come. We are excited for this complex to be built. We are more than ready for this to be a catalyst for positive change in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Natasha. I want to recognize also Congressman John Yarmouth. Congressman is busy in D.C. trying to make some sense out of what's going on over there, so we can count on him. But he sends his best to everybody and his congratulations on this milestone today. Nicole Yates is representing the Congressman. Nicole, thank you. Let's give it up for our Congressman. Our next speaker is an amazing citizen. He's a strong supporter of the redevelopment of this project. He has put blood, sweat, tears, wallet into this property here, and has really been one of our guides for community engagement of saying, how can we have the best possible outcome for this? When the idea for the land, first idea didn't work out, he didn't just walk away. He helped us transition to a new project that would bring life back to this site. That's what a good man does. That's what a great citizen does. Please welcome Stephen Reily.
As someone who knows these 24 acres pretty well, I could not be more excited to pass the proverbial baton to Sadiqa Reynolds and the Louisville Urban League today. In the laps that I ran on the Heritage West site over several years, I learned several lessons. One is that because West Louisville has not seen enough good, big projects over the last decades, there's sometimes important questions raised about what is good enough to be a good project in West Louisville. And the bar should be very high, but sometimes each individual project is asked to meet every need or solve every problem, which is too high a bar. And I would tell you about this project, that in the city that's the hometown of Muhammad Ali and the Kentucky Derby and the U of L basketball team, we know that sports can bring people together, that it can bring the world to Louisville, and that sports is a powerful business that will make this project sustainable for decades to come. As someone who also held a development agreement on this site with Metro Louisville, I also want to say a little bit about the nature of that relationship. In many cases, Metro Louisville enters into development agreements with opponents, with for-profit companies who actually have interests that can be in opposition to the city. But that's not the case here. In this case, we have the vision of Metro Louisville and Mayor Fischer for the city and for West Louisville, combined with the very similar vision of the Louisville Urban League and Sadiqa Reynolds for West Louisville, the African American people of Louisville, and our entire city. And so we have to recognize we have a very important role to play in this project. Mayor Fischer and Sadiqa Reynolds are not sitting on opposite sides of the table. Metro Louisville and the council and the Urban League are not sitting on opposite sides of the table. They are sitting on the same side of the table, and we need to sit on it with them. We need to do everything we can to make this project happen, and I promise to join them and do everything I can as a board member of the Urban League and a citizen of Louisville to be with them at the starting line today when they face unexpected hurdles along the way, helping them get over them and applauding them at the finish line with the rest of you when this project is ready to open up. Thank you for joining me in that work.
Stephen Reily, thank you, buddy. Louisville's a big sports city, home to the USL Cup champions Louisville City FC, bats, horse racing, marathon, cycling, Louisville Cardinals, and many other collegiate teams. But this facility, this development represents something to the national sports scene and international sports scene. So to give us more context on that, I'd like to welcome to the podium Karl Schmitt, the CEO of the Louisville Sports Commission. Karl.
Thank you, Mayor. So I want to, the West Side Track Club. So look over here at me just for a moment, all right? So I just want to share this personal story with you. I grew up about 30 blocks west of here. I went to high school about 32 blocks west of here. And I came to this plot of ground at Central High School 3 times in my athletic career, and I was 0 for 3. And that's not a very good feeling, right? So when you're going to a facility, you keep thinking in mind, what is your personal record in that facility? Because you go there to do what? You go there to win too, don't you? Your personal best, and you go there to win. So I feel like today, Mayor and Sadiqa, the albatross has been taken off my shoulders, because today I'm a winner at Central High School on this property. As the mayor mentioned, our role at the Sports Commission is to bring sporting events to our community for economic reasons. Fill up the hotel rooms, people spend their dollars here. But also, we like to bring people to this community that aspire to great things, primarily through athletics, and also people who have chosen athletics as a way to make their lives better. Let me tell you a little bit about track. So most of you know there's track, and you see it in the Olympics. In track and field, there's an outdoor season and there's an indoor season. Indoor season runs from November through March. Every middle school, every high school, and every college in this region has an indoor track team. They practice outside when the weather is good. They practice inside in their school hallways when the weather is bad. Currently, the high school state championships in the state of Kentucky are taking place in an old warehouse in Maysville, Kentucky. We should be better than that. But not only will we be able to attract championship level on the high school level, it'll be championship level at the collegiate level and at the AAU level and USA track and field level, where you will have athletes from all over the United States, colleges, and a lot of athletes from around the world who go to college in America coming into this neighborhood, and we're estimating between 20 and 40,000 people on any given year that run track, that come here with goals, they come here with aspirations, and they come into this neighborhood to make themselves better and to achieve, and they're coming into this neighborhood to do it, and we're pleased at the Sports Commission to be a part of it. Thank you.
Can you imagine that? I mean, kind of just dream a little bit and see the people moving west and east and into the track facility, coming from all over the country, and world records being set there. Right now, it's an empty lot. It's going to be a beehive of activity taking place there. It's really incredible. I want to recognize Vincent James here. He's our chief for the community building for the city. Does a great job for us. Let's hear from somebody who can tell us about her experiences on the track. Shandy Boyd-Smith, 2015 Kentucky Athletic Hall of Fame awardee. Shandy.
Good afternoon, everyone. Isn't this exciting? Woo! All right. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Shandy Boyd-Smith. I work in the Health, Education, and Policy Department at the Louisville Urban League. Thank you. And my job there is I am a community health navigator. My passion and purpose is to serve my community to become better consumers of their health and well-being. This project is very near and dear to my heart for many reasons. One being is because it will be a hub of health for the community and a hub of hope for the community. Number two, because I love to run, of course, as you all know. And again, I stand here before you as a 5-time Hall of Famer. Not just Kentucky Athletic Hall of Fame, but I'm also a 5-time Hall of Famer in track and field. Thank you. So let me tell you a little bit about my story. So unlike everyone else, my track career didn't start on the track. It started on the streets of West Louisville. I even got the nickname Runaway at the age of 2. And at age 9, I happened to join Westside Track Club, which is standing here with me today. Thank you. And Westside was founded in 1982 and is still a very successful running club for our youth. And all I knew at the time is that I loved to run. I wanted to go where my feet would take me. I wanted to follow in the footsteps of another Louisvillian, Stephanie Hightower, which happens to be a former world and American record holder in the hurdles and who also attended The Ohio State University. I attended, actually, Valley High School and was an 11-time state champion, twice named Gatorade Athlete of the Year, Kentucky Associated Press Athlete of the Year, Sports Illustrated Gatorade Circle of Champion, and I also made the U.S. Junior Olympic team. Thank you. So after receiving over 20 scholarship offers, I did attend The Ohio State University. And there I became a 7-time Big Ten champion, 4-time All-American. I was also an Olympic trials participant, and again, as you heard, a 5-time Hall of Famer. That journey was it was long and very hard, but very rewarding. But it was that journey that afforded me the opportunity to train, travel, and compete internationally against the world's best, representing West Louisville. However, today it's not about me, but it is about our future that is standing here before you. Today I have Miss Caleb McDonald. Caleb, raise your hand. Caleb is the 2018 state champion in the 100, 200, and 400 meters. Give her a hand. She attends J-Town High and is a member of the Kentucky Phillies elite track and field team. And we also have Mr. Robert, raise your hand. Robert is our 2018 state champion in the high jump. He attends Trinity and will go on and do very big things. We are so proud. Again, give them a hand, please. I was told by my coach to let you all know that he also competes for Westside as well. So stories like these is what you will hear from the track as it creates choices of opportunities. I'll leave you with this quote from Jackie Joyner-Kersee, who I had the privilege to actually run against. She states, "The glory of sport comes from dedication, determination, and desire. Achieving success and personal glory in athletics has less to do with wins and losses than it does with learning how to prepare yourself so that at the end of the day, you know that there was nothing more you could have done to reach your ultimate goal." Thank you.
All right, great job. I'd like to recognize Diane Porter, also our chair of the Jefferson County Public Schools. Thank you, Ms. Porter. A lot of people have worked hard on this project, including a lot of people at Louisville Metro, and there's a bunch of them right over there, so I recognize some of these folks over here. Daniel Frocht, our Chief Financial Officer. Anthony Smith, we're still claiming you. Althea Jackson. Gina Dunlap, I see you. Yvette Gentry. Teresa Zawacki. I mean, great job to the team here of helping to put this together and everything that's going on in Russell right now. Well, good job. Speaking of Russell, I don't know if there's anybody more embedded than Reverend David Snardon. He wears a lot of hats. Today he's here to talk to us from the perch of his leadership of the Interdenominational Ministerial Coalition. Reverend Snardon.
Greetings, everyone. This is a great day and a great occasion. There is an African greeting that says, "How are the children doing?" And I just want to commend the mayor today, the city, the Urban League, and Sadiqa, because I think this time we got it right, because this development is not just about X's and O's and erecting buildings or generating funds, and it'll do all that, but this has to do with our children and leaving a legacy for the future. I also am the president of Concerned Pastors of Russell that is really focused on economic development in the Russell community and to ensure that black and poor people get a cut of the pie. So anything that has to do with ownership of black and poor people getting a piece of their own is something that I want to support. Therefore, I'm very elated and happy to support what is happening with this Ali track proposal, and I cannot wait to see what takes place, all of the development that happens, and all of the monies that will come into our communities and rotate around for the betterment for our communities and our people. It has the potential to leverage outside dollars for training, for hiring, to enrich the lives of the citizens of our very communities. It is a symbol of achievement, accomplishment, imagined through the efforts of institutions erected for the benefits of black and poor people. We too have hopes and dreams. We have hopes and dreams for our families and our children. We too are filled with possibilities if we're just given the same chance to excel. I've seen firsthand how these developments generate funds in their communities. Me and my son, he plays lacrosse. We just came back from a lacrosse tournament, and it was situated in a neighborhood in suburban Illinois. And there was about 1,000 people, children and their parents. There was only one place to eat at that location, and I don't know how many hamburgers and hot dogs and potato chips and pops they sold, but they probably generated enough money to take a nice vacation for the rest of the year. But that's not to mention, where do you stay for 3 days? Hotels. Where do you wash those dirty uniforms? And they got to be washed because there's nothing like lacrosse stench. They got to be washed. Where do you go when everything is over and you got to entertain both children and adults at the end of the night? Where do you go to eat? This is a great opportunity that has great possibilities for the neck of the woods that is always left out, disinvested, and seem that people are disinterested. This is a great opportunity. So we commend and support the forward thinking and leadership of the Louisville Urban League and all of her partners that stayed and pushed to bring this deal to the table and the tenacity to see it come to pass. We commend the Metro Government for seeing the potential of this development and throwing its weight behind it. And we pray that the city and all of her partners, that they continue to throw its full weight and power to ensure that the residents of West Louisville that are already in the Russell community have the opportunity to stay there and feel the benefits of this new development and others that are on the horizon. We thank God for what's taking place, and I personally believe that God is looking down and smiling on us today because we got this one right.
All right. Can I have an amen? Amen. All right. I also see Jeff O'Brien and Vernay Goatley here from Metro Government. I want to point them out as well. Thank you guys for your good work. Speaking of Metro Government, let's hear from a couple of our Metro Council members who have been a big part of helping this come to reality, and hopefully on Tuesday we'll make it even more real. So first, let's hear from Councilwoman Jessica Green.
West side on me, west side on three. 1, 2, 3, west side! If anybody knows me, my first job is as a mother, and I am a crazy track mother. Being a part of West Side track team for my kids has been the greatest thing that they could have ever become involved in. And so when I look to my left and see children like Caleb McDonald, Caleb doesn't know me, but I know her. And what wasn't mentioned was the fact that Caleb just medaled at New Balance Nationals last week, Coach. Was that this week or last week? But she just medaled, so she is a national champion. When I look to my right and see kids, young women like Hadia Williams, who is at Tennessee State University on a track scholarship, I know that there is a God somewhere and God is good. When I look right to my front and see my little guy who has gold medal multiple times, proud mom, in the 400, 800, and 1500, I just get so excited. And as everybody knows, hundreds of millions of dollars leaves West Louisville every year. And when I think about the fact that all of the track teams, like the Phillies, like Westside, like the Village and others, before the 1st of August, we'll all travel to places. We'll be going to Iowa, we'll be going to Greensboro, North Carolina, we're going to Tennessee, we're going to E-Town tomorrow. Those are dollars that we can be keeping right here in West Louisville. So I am looking forward to that day. Thank God for the visionary leadership of Ms. Sadiqa Reynolds, who is never afraid to take a risk. She's never afraid to be bold, and we need bold and visionary leadership for such a time as this. And so this is a good thing. This is a good day. We are on the right track. We are on the cusp of making history, and so God bless you all for being a part of this, and thank you all for being here today.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Takes a lot of work to put one of these together, and I look up, I see Laura Ferguson there. She did all the legal work on this development agreement, so thank you, Laura, for your good work. Speaking of good work, Councilwoman Barbara Sexton Smith is in the house. Councilwoman.
Believe it or not, I was having a hard time hearing Mayor Fischer. Did he tell you we are in District 4? That's right. Did he mention that? You know, what I love about this project is it brings so many of the Metro Council members together because of where our districts touch one another. So I give my hat off to Councilwoman Sherry Bryan Hamilton, who represents 30th and Muhammad Ali, where this amazing development is going to reside. And what I wanted to share with you today, I remember 2.5 years ago, I was at a big meeting. There were about 500 people there, and every media was there, and everybody was talking about the map that Business First had just released. Do y'all remember that map? It was the one that had a little dot for every piece of economic development that was happening in Jefferson County, and everybody was so excited. Guess what? There was not one dot on that map representing economic development in Jefferson County at that time, located in West Louisville. And Ben Richmond and Kevin Cosby, y'all know what I'm talking about. And they looked at me and said, so what do you think about that? What do you think about the boundaries of West Louisville? And I said, well, according to that map, the boundaries of West Louisville, they are left out, ignored, disenfranchised, and forgotten. How about that? Nobody said a word. But you know what? 2.5 years later, here we are. It's been raining. It's been cloudy. It's been stormy for many years. We call that redlining. That's the storm we've been through. But I'm telling you, on Monday of this week, I went to a meeting to listen to a presentation about economic development. I kid you not, Gina Dunlap, sitting right over there, she was the co-presenter with Gretchen Milliken. It took these two ladies talking 892 words a minute, 30 minutes to just tell us what the development in West Louisville was. And my mother told me, Barbara Ann, sometimes you have to repeat and say the obvious. So what I want to say is this. I learned a thing or two, and I've got a lot more to learn about our history and about our redlining. But I know this. We're going to have in the black community a black institution, the Louisville Urban League, as the developer, led by a black woman.
All right.
Yes. And all I can say, I'm the only one up here in the wrong color. There's a lot to be said about color, but Mayor Fischer, you know what? It's blue skies. Had to wear the blue. All right, kiddos on this track team, I'm going to be cheering for you every step of the way. I don't know much about track and field. All I know is I tripped over the hurdle every time they tried to teach me how to jump it, so I ended up on the cheerleading squad. Bishop Lyons is back there in the back, and Bishop Lyons and I have known each other since I was 12 years old. We know how important track and field can be, because one of my classmates went on to the Olympics and would have won had America showed up that year. I'll let you do your history and figure out which one that was. So here we go. I heard Kevin Cosby announce at the University of Louisville this week. He's put out a phrase that's the best one I've heard in a long time. Do you all have to breathe when you're practicing your track and field? Do you have to breathe a lot and learn how to do that? Do you think about this? I want you to breathe in hope and exhale love, because that's what this is all about. Congratulations.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I saw our city's Chief Equity Officer, Kelly Watson, here as well. I want to thank her for her good work. Thank you, Kelly. All right, folks. Yes, we've had a lot of speakers. I recognize that, because we have been building up the energy in this room to hear from somebody that I've been working with for quite some time, on the same team directly and now on the same team indirectly. And I'm really appreciative of the leadership that she's given to this community. She's talked about her dream and shared her dreams many times to the citizens of Louisville and have lifted us up in many different ways. So I'm really delighted to invite Sadiqa Reynolds to the podium to talk about this transformative project. Sadiqa Reynolds.
Wow. This is an exciting day. This is an amazing day. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you to the track team, all of the phenomenal speakers who have come before me. To the mayor, I just want to thank you so much for your continued commitment to this city, for really to the entire staff at the Office of the Mayor and Louisville Forward for having faith in the proposal that we put forward, for everybody that was on that committee, for your support, for your vote, and really believing that the Louisville Urban League could do this with the community's help. There are some other folks here that I really do need to acknowledge, and I realize you all have been standing up for a long time, but we have to do this today. First of all, Louisville Urban League staff, team members are here, a lot of them in Urban League shirts. If you all could just wave your hands, please. Yes. I have to thank everybody who works for the Louisville Urban League, especially Shandy today. That was a great speech. Thank you so much. Thanks to all of my team for everything that you do to help make me stronger and better and more informed so that we can do this wonderful work. Thank you for your service to this community. Sometimes I am the one who stands here and gets the picture taken, but really it is you who do so much of it, and I cannot thank you enough, and thank you all for being here today. Also, the board, many of the board members are here. You heard from Stephen Reily. He is phenomenal. He is our board member. And then there are other board members. Our board chair is here, Lori Lee. If you could wave your hand. Other board members, please. I think Diane Porter is up here with us as well as a board member. I want to thank the board because I have opinions about a lot of things, and I make them public every single day of my life. I always have, but now people are actually paying attention. It's so funny because people go, oh, you've changed. I didn't know. I'm like, no, actually, ask somebody who's known me, and they'll tell you this is exactly who I have always been. I am exactly the same, and the board tolerates that because I work for them, you know, and so they get some complaints sometimes, I guess, about some of the things I say, and so here I am still with a job. So thank you. Thank you to the Louisville Urban League board. And there are folks who, when you need somebody, you need some advice, you don't quite know where to go, but you heard so-and-so and thus and such. Jim Host has been amazing to me in this role, first in helping us redevelop some of our workforce initiatives, but then on this idea of this sports center, this multi-sports complex, sports and education complex is what it's really going to be. Jim, he said, yes, I will help you. But I mean, this man drives to and from Lexington, Louisville as often as I need him to. And occasionally he comes when nobody asks him to. He's just there and he helps and he is taking phone calls, text messages, whatever needs to be done, whatever I need, he has been there for me from the beginning of this idea. And I just have to say, Jim, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very, very much. Val Jones developed Whiskey Row. She has stepped in to help us. I think Val is here somewhere. I have to thank her so much for her commitment to this project, for forcing me to see it as bigger, for forcing me, thank you Val, I'll see you there, to talk about this in a way that is just not about this sports and education complex, but it's about so much more. It's about an entire community and what it looks like to realistically, holistically revitalize a community in a way that the people who have been there so long benefit. And so Val calls and says, let's get in the car, get somebody from the city. We need to drive around and look at everything. And she's just constantly pushing me and educating me. And I cannot thank her enough for using her tools to help black people, to help poor people. Because when you're helping me, that's what it's about for me. And so I am just forever thankful to everybody who's helping, but especially those two. And let me mention two other people. Alice Houston, who is, has been phenomenal throughout not just this, but everything I do at the Urban League. Just every single thing, but especially this track. And if anybody has asked her to do anything lately, she has answered, no, the only person I'm helping is Sadiqa on this track. I'm not gonna do anything else. I think she did tell me the other day she committed to one other thing, but we're gonna be on the news tonight. Alice Houston's not helping anybody else do anything else. I'll tell you that right now. And also, Junior Bridgman. For me, and I've said this to people, I did not know him very well, and honestly, I've seen Junior. He has always been nice to me. Oftentimes, I've seen him and not wanted to approach him. I thought, oh, he won't know who I am. And then somehow I figured out in this role that, in fact, he does know exactly who I am and is willing to help and wants to be supportive. And Alice and Junior have walked with me and supported me in this endeavor, and it means something for everybody. It means something for Jim to help. It means something for Val. We have these other folks. Stephen Reily, we've already talked about his phenomenal investment in this piece of land. Where would we be? Would we even be talking about the land if it weren't for the ideas of Stephen Reily and his crew? Shandy Smith, also a part of this committee. You've heard from her. Christy Brown agreed to help us on this committee. John Borders agreed to help us on this committee. Natasha Cummings agreed, not in her capacity as a West Louisville Community Council, but as a mom, as a citizen of West Louisville. I want to be a part of this. Carla Deering is here today, agreed to help us with this work. Layla George, who used to be at WFPL and is now the chair of the Olmsted, or executive director, agreed to help us. Jay Gullock is here, and in our story, it's hilarious, like how we met, because it was not good. And to have that man come in and say, how can I help you? Phenomenal. It was, you know what? It wasn't good for somebody, but it was good for Jay because he showed the character, who he is and what he believes in. And here he is with us. Chip Heiser agreed to help us. Ben Richmond, my predecessor, is here. Ben is, there he is. Ben Richmond has agreed to help us. Karl Schmitt, the head of the Sports Commission, has agreed to help us. Lindy Street has agreed to help us. All of those people, all of that matters. I have to tell you all, though, for me, Alice Houston and Junior Bridgman, there is something about this idea of black people owning something. That's right. Coming up with our own ideas, setting our own course. There is something about that. And this city has to acknowledge the greatness of this project, not about me, but yes, about the Urban League. Yes, about the people who have gathered to support it. Yes, about who will benefit long-term from this investment. Yes, about our ability to reinvest in ourselves. Yes, it is a response to redlining. Yes, it is a response to broken policy. Yes, it is a response to years and years of a lack of investment. And this whole idea, the reality is that I wish I had $30 million to write the check for myself. I don't know if people understand how humbling it is to know what you need and not be able to afford it. Yeah. I am tired of that. And that's why I said I want to think of something that I will ask one time. I want something that's going to pay for itself. I want these babies to understand that we can do this. We can be creative. We can be innovative. We can change our own world with the right support. If somebody says, I see your dream, let me invest in your dream, as opposed to, this is what I think is best for you. That's what this is about. I called Dorian Burton on the way in here, and I said, Dorian, what'd you tell your board? You got Keenan, they're coming in, they've been so supportive. I said, what do you say? And he said, listen, success has always been about getting out of the neighborhood. We need to build some success in the hood. We need to show some gold medals in the hood. And let me be clear, if you think this is just about sports, your imagination is so limited. This is about watching people fly that look like you. This is about turning on the news and seeing somebody from your neighborhood be spotlighted. This is about 20 to 30,000 people coming into West Louisville needing a hotel or somewhere to eat. This is about economic development happening in this space. That's what this is about. This is not just about track. This is not just about sports. Somebody slipped me a note yesterday and said, well, what about the kids who don't run? Listen, let me explain this. This is bigger than this building. This is about what this building will generate. Sure, this is about affordable housing. This is about the guy that's been on the corner selling sandwiches for 3 years trying to make it, and us trying to work with him to expand his vision so that he can move into this facility and we grow that small business. This is about the woman who's been catering lunch at the Urban League for every board meeting, be able to expand her vision and all of a sudden run concessions when 20 to 30,000 people come in to eat at only one place, the hamburger. That's what this is about. You ain't got to run track to benefit from this. This is about how you change a community, how you invest in a community in a way that leaves them whole, that helps them be better. Because let's just be honest, it is this country that has created the challenges of West Louisville. And so, yes, we are owed something. Yes, I feel entitled. And I am thankful today that you agree with me and that we have this many people. I mean, it's just real. I just want to say it, and I don't ever want anybody to forget about it, because I am concerned about the political piece of this. And I want to be clear, I love the mayor for what he has done. And I don't want anybody, Republican or Democrat, to politicize this. This is not about politics. This is about black folks being empowered. This is about West Louisville owning something. This is about us reinvesting in us. This is more than about track. So I'm just saying, I expect everybody in this community to be for this, to be for these kids, even the ones who don't run, because everybody deserves a chance to fund their dreams, and this is ours. And let me tell you one other thing here. I think it's just going to be one thing, but we'll see. This project and the partners, those names that I read to you, are so strong. When the National Urban League came into this city, they connected us with an organization called the National Development Council. The National Development Council was created 50 years ago after the assassination of King and Senator Kennedy. And the whole focus is about revitalization. The mission is to create jobs and promote community development in economically disadvantaged and urban neighborhoods. Listen to this. They focus on homes, jobs, community. Now listen to what the Urban League does. Jobs, justice, education, health, housing. We are so aligned. So I got on the phone with them and talked to them about this project. Within 2 weeks, they were on a plane in Louisville, looking at the site, walking through. And they said a couple of things. Number one, this whole idea of a track moves the Passport project up on our list for new market tax credits, because now we understand this is real community revitalization. That's the first thing. So we have already helped. Just the idea has already helped this community. That's number one. The second part is, this organization has financed over $2.6 billion of social infrastructure through public-private partnerships. They get to choose where they use their new market tax credits across the country. They have operated in 50 states, and they chose our project. I signed an MOU with them, I think, on last Thursday. That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. So what I want to make sure of is this. I am thankful. I said this yesterday. I am not from this city. I came here for college. I left and went to UK for law school, and I'm back now. And my children have been born here. I've been here for, 20 years or 5 years, depending on what age I'm going with. But I am committed to Louisville. I am in love with you, because you have really loved me. Whether I was a public defender in this city, whether I was a guardian ad litem representing abused and neglected children, when I was a judge, in every role, Louisville, you have supported me. But never have I needed you more than I do now. Professionally, I have done nothing that is more important than this. And I want you to understand that. And I am betting on you to come through 100%. And so I'll end with this story. I once saw on Oprah where Maya Angelou was on, and she said she was laying in her bed one night, and all of a sudden she heard the door. And then she heard footsteps coming towards her bedroom. And she leaned up, opened the drawer to her nightstand, and she said out loud, "Is this what you are willing to die doing?" And then she heard footsteps going the other way. And then she heard the door close. this is the thing. This community, these people we serve, this project, everything that is good for Black people, for poor people, for people in Louisville, I am willing to die doing. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
All right, Sadiqa. Great job. Okay, folks, talk to your Metro Council people again. Tuesday, vote on the budget. As we close this thing out, I just want to reference two people. Over here, we have Alice Houston. Up there, looking down upon us. Who do you see up there? Muhammad Ali. What do Muhammad Ali and Alice Houston have in common? How about a gold medal? How about Alan Houston, gold medal winner? Muhammad Ali, gold medal winner. The track on Ali, a gold medal winner. All right, so we got work to do. Let's chant a little bit here to set the tone for what we're going to do. Work with me on this. Gold, 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 gold. When we think about this project, settle for nothing less than gold. Thanks, everybody, for coming out today.
This has been a Metro TV production, a public service of Louisville Metro Government.